Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. So what we're doing, we're talking about the actual fusion. No one else has done a video on the fusion yet that I've seen. Everyone's talking about the other champs. We're talking about the fusion, actually playtesting her, trying her in some different content, trying to show you the good side and the bad side. And then where we see the bad side, I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I would do to change this champion to make her, like, overnight, change her from being the person who sits at the head of the table, carving the meat for the rest of the Vault Lords, like Pixnill's doing right now, and actually change her to someone who comes out of the Vault, in my opinion. Now, there's a few names out there right now. Yeah, this is like the warning element. Yeah, we got people like HC Senti, who is a mod in my Discord, super brain of the game, keeps telling us facts about the game, which everybody's using, by the way. Like, massive endgame arena, guys. Listen to Senti because he comes up with some very cool, different understandings of how the game works. Yeah, so he's literally a super brain and he loves his champion. Okay, Want to Mess in content creator chat was like, "What are you saying? I love this champion." Jay Diggs just did a video yesterday. You guys are all crazy. This champion's solid. Okay, so that's the warning. Yeah, this champion is not viewed by all in the same way. So make sure you get a balanced opinion before you decide what to do with this fusion. So let's get into her. Let's talk about what she's up to, what she can do. Mother, oh mother, Cybele, whatever. What's she got going on then? So first off, there are 6, 9, 12 books. Okay, so 12 legendary books. Do I feel like she needs to be booked to be effective? Yes. Like, 3 cooldown books. Unless you don't care about those skills, that's a sly old game from Plarium. Honestly, that's a sly one. 6 books worth of cooldowns is nasty. Normally, little enhancement, cooldown. Yeah, 1 cooldown. Not every book's a cooldown. So, without books, she's, like, devastatingly worse. Apart from some of her kit you can just use without books at all. So if you don't care about the A2 and the A3, and your main thing is that she's got an AoE A1, she's got a funky passive, and she's got a speed aura, I'll go over these properly in a sec, then you can play her unbooked, and she's the same champion. Yeah, she's the same champion. If you're just thinking AoE A1, therefore I put her in a stun set, which we'll show in this video, then books make no difference to her. Yeah, you turn off the other skills, you run her in a stun set, she's got a funky passive, and she's got a speed aura in all battles, and all of a sudden, you've got yourself a progression-y type champion that's going to help you through some nasty stuff. Okay, so that's something. But anyway, let's do it. A1, AoE. If she's booked, 50% chance of placing a decreased speed on all enemies. And she's got a turn meter fill for herself. All damage on her HP. This is the only skill in a kit that needs accuracy. I hate it when they do this. So enhancement number 1 for me, if they were to tweak this champion, would be this requires this skill cannot be resisted. Okay, don't make me put accuracy on my champion for this one part of a mechanic, please. Please, that's what I'm asking. Or change the decreased speed and have something like any set control, I don't know what you call it, but any set control has got twice the chance of landing. And what I mean by that is, like, any of these kind of stun sets, taunt sets, daze sets, any of this stuff that has got control in it, instead of it being at normal 30 or normal 20, whatever is on stun, 22 or 25 or something, 18 in fact, it doubles. Yeah, so it gives her an enhanced chance to land debuffs from sets, and then that way you don't need accuracy and you get the kind of even better bonus for the type of sets that she might run in. That would be something that I would change. So she gets a turn meter fill as well, which is nice. She has got insane base stats, high base speed, high base defense, high base HP. It's another selling point of her, but we're kind of running out. So speed aura, 24%, A1 AoE, and insane base stats. that's the positives out of the way. Done. We've then got an A2, revive on death for 2 turns and increase defense for 2 turns. Increased defense is a great buff. Revive on death for 2 turns, I just feel like it's so situational. So we've got other champions that do this, Light Sworn, Crimson Helm, all these champions that do this already. Unless you're doing like a really precise, speed-tuned clan boss setup, for example. There are clan boss teams out there now called the Phoenix teams. They don't get used very often, but you've got people like Crimson Helm, Light Sworn, that constantly get their revive on death background at the right time, so that when the clan boss strikes people down, they bounce back up, and then it's like an unkillable team, but a worse version, yeah? There are some out there that have done like 1T Ultra Nightmare, so it can be good if you've got specific niche champs. So she could fit that job and potentially fit it better than what we've got going right now if Deadwood can make this work in his calc. Because when she dies, when people have got revive on death on, she will throw everyone's turn meter forward 15%. Now, I don't know if that works if everyone else is dead at the same time. I don't know how the mechanic of it works, honestly. I've got no idea. But if they revive and then pump 15%, that could be pretty cool. I guess it probably depends where she is in the turn order to make that work. I'd imagine it would only work on champions if they've revived first, then she dies and revives. So she probably would have to be at the back of the queue, I guess. But it could be an option for like one of these Phoenix-style teams. Okay? So the revive on death A2, I'd prefer for this to be 3 turns. And then we might have more viability. Because honestly, revive on death, if you're running it on auto, the chances are she casts it at the wrong time and people don't revive on death, they just die. Yeah, and it's got a 6-turn cooldown or 3 if you book it, and it won't be up all the time. So for me, it's just a bit too situational. The A3 is a bit of a funky one. So swaps HP with an ally. If this champion's HP is equal or higher than the target's after the swap. Yeah, after the swap. So on manual, you can do some more funky things than on auto here. Fills this champion's turn meter by 40. Places increased speed on this champion and a block damage on the ally. It's a nice mechanic, but it's just very weird, like very specific. And this is where this champion could be a good endgame arena champion potentially, because you choose who this is happening to. If this champion's HP is lower after the swap, it's the opposite. Fills the other target's turn meter, and she gets a block damage. Okay. Also places 2 continuous heals on this champion for 2 turns. So there's a lot going on in this skill. In terms of what I would do to enhance the champion, one of these 2 skills, probably this one, the A2, give me a turn meter fill. Give me and fills turn meter of all allies by 15%. So that makes her, with a great base speed, it makes her a really good go second in your team arena champion. So you go speed lead into her. She buffs everyone with revive on death in case you do die. And that will give you enhancements as well. But she'll also push your turn meter forward for the rest of your team to make it a viable comp. At the moment, I don't feel like it's viable. The other thing which I think you could do to make this champion tons better is make more use of this passive. So fully heals the ally with the lowest HP whenever this champion is killed. That's screaming like arena mechanic. Okay? This part here is screaming arena, high-end arena though, like proper plat level. We're doing something funky with a team type of level stuff. Maybe everyone's meant to die on your team, including the mother, apart from a Duchess. Duchess gets her HP filled after the smack. She comes in, revives everyone back up, and then the enemies use their big hits. And then all of a sudden, it's this kind of like long-term defense fight that you've got going on. Yeah, so that's a potential. She's also got this part here, heals all allies by 20%, and fills their turn meters by 15% whenever she's revived. So that can be used as well as a kind of funky mechanic. Now, the other thing that I think they could do to change her would be make her spawn into the round with revive on death on. Yeah, make her already have as a passive, revive on death already activates when she comes in, like Crew Traxxer does. That way, you could make use of this turn meter fill off the bat. Like a big hedgie comes in, smacks you, She dies. Everyone else's turn meter throws forward, like with Morley. And then you've got a champion for the arena. Okay, so there's a number of things that I would do or could do to change her. But as she is right now, I feel like she's weak sauce. Okay, the best use I can see for her right now is stun set. You just use her A1, and she's got a good speed aura. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to try and show you that marine. I'm going to try and show you the arena mechanic in play, and then we're going to throw her in a stun set and see what she can do. Now, in the test server, we get everyone just leveled to 60 straight away, fully ascended, all that type of stuff. So I actually feel like for her to work in this particular style comp, she may be better as level 1, not level 60, because she has got to die for this to work. She needs to be killed, and then you need for Duchess to be a tank. Everyone else is kind of like mid-ground, probably going to die as well. But she fully heals Duchess or whoever your kind of reviver-style champion is. And your team then resurrects, and they have this kind of long fight. So in terms of masteries for this style build, I've actually gone for defense tree. And the main two really, probably, I don't even know if I want this defense one, to be honest. The main two are selfless defender, reduce the damage from one of my allies. Only one person in your team can have this mastery, or it will only work for one person in your team. If you've got 4 people with this mastery, it will only work for one person. So if you've got more than one, Mother Cybele needs to be at the front of the pack. She needs to be the lead. Make sure it's her that's doing this. And then Bulwark's basically the same type of thing. Decreases the damage everyone else takes. She takes it instead. So the idea is she's like, come at me. I want to die for this comp to work. That's pretty much where you're going. So she's literally running naked. And the masteries are all about keeping the rest of the team alive. And let's see if we can get this to work. Okay, so let's try a team that's like all about damage. So this is just like a standard speed team, damage comp. I'm hoping we stay alive long enough to make this work. She's got the better speed lead, so she would be better than Duchess in the lead. But I'm pretty sure that if she was the lead, her passive would kick in before anyone else takes damage, I think. Because it would work in a turn order of, she sits at the front, they kill her first, she tries to heal someone, nobody's taken any damage yet, and therefore, there's literally no point to it. So I think she has to sit at the back of the pack. So let's just see if this works. So we should get drop defense on us. Trunda comes in. She dies. She fully healed actually a Candrathon. See, Candrathon's back to full health. And she absorbs some of the damage from everyone else. Now, and then I'm not actually going to stop the fight there. I'm just curious to see how her passive properly works. So if we fight the same fight, but instead of me putting her in last place, I'm going to put her in second spot. She's just disappeared. I just want to see if this guarantees that Duchess takes the heal. So if she dies in second spot, can I force Duchess to be the one that's healed? That's my question here. So she dies again. Duchess takes the heal. See that? So her positioning is actually going to make quite a big difference in terms of what you do with her. Then obviously, like if everyone else had died at that point, Duchess has then got the ability to bring everyone back up, and you get a point to, you get a chance then to extend your defensive fight long. The other thing is, if she dies on the first hit that Trunda pumps out, she will heal straight up. Yeah, she'll heal after the first hit, and then Trunda's got to hit through the second hit, right through your health pool. So I think actually there's some funky stuff for endgame arena. We're talking like proper endgame stuff where she could play. And I think that's why the likes of Sentient Want to Mess are kind of interested in this champion, because a bit like with Vodoff brought us a kind of type of mechanic which we hadn't seen before. She's kind of doing the same type of thing in terms of, giving you some sort of way to sustain through things. Albeit a kit's a little bit funky because she's an HP-based champion. See, we win this fight, where we probably shouldn't have done. She's an HP-based champion, but the part of her kit that is most interesting to me is her dying. And it's much harder to make her die. Now, if I put her in full gear, she's not dying. There's no way. So that's one of the niche areas. Phoenix team's another niche area. And then I'll show you what most people, like the 99% of you, are probably going to end up using her for if you fuse this champion. So I think the majority of people would use it like this. Stun set or taunt set, but I think stun set's the best. Taunt set could be good because when she dies, things happen. But yeah, and that's got no cooldown on it, by the way. That just keeps going on. So as long as she's always got a revive ability coming in, she'll keep keeping people alive, which is kind of weird and funky, I guess. But yeah, stun set, she's got an A1 AoE and speed. So she's got a great base speed, which means you can pump her speed up really easily. She's got a very good base survivability, so you can pump her health and defense up, and then give her the accuracy to land a decreased speed if you want to, but you don't have to, and you've thrown a stun set. Now, if you were going to do that, there's a number of options on Masteries. This is really like, there's no dead set way to go on Masteries on this champion. You might end up in War Master for a little bit of extra damage on the kind of boss encounters and that type of thing. You might end up on Fearsome Presence to have a higher chance to land your abilities from your artifacts. So another 5% chance to land your stuns. I kind of like that, actually. That's probably what I'm going to do. You could go for timely intervention. No, maybe not, because she's going to be the one who's going to die. Or in this sort of build, she probably isn't going to die. So maybe that's an option. I'm not sure, really. But there's definitely no set way to go. You might end up going Bulwark, still to protect your team, because she's tanky. So I think there's a number of options that you can do. I don't think it's really that worth building her for damage. I would much rather, if I was to take her on under my wing, I would probably build her like this and have a kind of defensive tree, Cycle of Revenge to get turn meter when people are taking a smack, Selfless Defender to protect my team, Fearsome Presence to get a better chance to land my kits, as in my artifacts. But that's, again, it's a super niche-y type of build. And then you might go down the support tree so that, you know, if buffs... I probably should have gone here, actually. Because you can get turn meter fill when your buffs are dropping off. You could get turn meter fill when your debuffs are dropping off. Laura still gives you more speed again. And then you might just go A1 to push turn meter back. And you might try and improve the chance of landing your decreased speed on your A1 here. But there's a ton of options. Like, this is definitely not the dead set way to build her in Masteries. There are a ton of options because she doesn't really have like a straight up purpose. So let's run her like this. We've got her fast. We've got her in a stun gear. We're going to take her through Faction Wars first, because I think this is going to be one of the arguments for her. Kind of like, you should get her to help you through Faction Wars type of thing. So let's take her through, I guess wave 21. Wave 21. She's going to be our kind of rotational stun champion. I've got Sinetia doing the same job. Rector to pick people up if we go down. Whirlim in there for damage. And Tomb Lord in there for damage as well. So she does have an all battles lead, which is great for Faction Wars. 24% more speed for your team. Lovely. On default, she's deciding to do her A3 first. And then she's almost definitely going to do her A2 next, as you'd expect with any champion. A2 next, before she starts getting that stun set out. You may decide to literally just... There's her stuns, by the way. Another one goes out. So we've got 3 stuns. 2 people in stun sets here. You may decide to turn off her A2 or A3, potentially, and just have a A1 in. Stun set, stun set, stun set. And that's definitely an option. But with 2 people in stun sets on level 21 content, and this is Sinetia and Cybele here, we're not taking a ton of hits. We've got like 2 people in the fight. Even though they've got counter-attack on, they don't counter-attack. And, you know, on full auto, we're kind of doing work. Yeah, my Whirlim's got a kind of semi-damage build going on right now. And my Tomb Lord obviously can give me my drop defense and drop attack, which reduces their damage. So Tomb Lord's actually super good for Faction Wars anyway. But I guess the question for you guys here is, what is she bringing compared to Sinetia right now? Like, I can build Sinetia the exact same way I've just built her, And I feel like Senacia does the job at least as well. That's my point. So, but she's not booked. You know, there's no books in her right now. So, you know, it's not too bad. A1 there, 2 stuns off on the Valk wave. We need stuns on the Valk wave. We got lucky. We got stuns everywhere. So at this point, you kind of argue, well, 2 stun sets potentially is just giving us the opportunity to win the fight. Literally, like that's what that's just come down to there. 2 stun sets has just ruined the Valk's day. Albeit, they've got another chance in a minute. Another chance to get stuns off. We didn't get any that time round. And so the fight goes on. So will she be of use in Faction Wars in this type of scenario? Yes. The revive on death thing, unless you've got a reviver in your team, I would say the revive on death thing. So unless you're running like Rector, it's going to be too situational. Like right now, everyone's got revive on death. There's a good chance that, you know, Rector, it will drop off Rector and then that'll be the time she dies and then your run's a wipe. Like, it's just so situational. But it's not a terrible buff. It's just nowhere near as good as an actual revive. That's what I'm saying. But you can see we're going to get through this. We'll get through the wave eventually with the amount of control we've got. And we'll get onto the boss. And we will beat the boss with this team. So she does do some work in Faction Wars, but it's the same work that anyone with an AoE A1 would be doing. Apart from, I guess, she's bringing decreased speed as well. It's kind of nice. So that's Faction Wars. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. Honestly, I mean, maybe I should, because I'm pretty much going to show you the whole thing in other dungeons as well. Like, if we're going into somewhere like a Dragon 25 or any other content, that's what she does. Like, that's going to be her job. An A1, AoE, and that's it. That's it. That's all we've got. A speed lead and an A1 AoE, and we go and make ourselves a cup of tea against these level 25 stuff, and we come back and everyone's dead. Okay. So here we go. So she's going to do all her funky stuff first, of course, unless I turn it off. God bless being able to turn off skills now, player in. Thank you for that one. A1 goes out, 1 stun off. And look, we're going to be saying the same thing all through the video from this point on. This is what most people will gain in terms of benefit from her. The same thing, by the way, you can gain from a Bellower in a stun set or anyone else like that. And she will help you through content. She will give you progression through content through doing this. In the same way, she will help you through progression of content in Doom Tower, you know, all of those type of things as well. So, yeah, there is something about that. I guess I haven't really shown you her A3 in action because we're not really taking any damage, but her A3 being able to manipulate HP is definitely a manual thing. Like, if you're doing it on full auto, then she's just, you've seen her, she's randomly doing it. She's trying to swap health with people like that. We're both full health, love. What's going on? Why are you doing it? We're both full health. At least give us a chance to get low. So, you know, that sort of mechanic is purely a manual job. And if you are using that manually, then you can use that to good effect. Yeah, you can use that to save someone's life, for sure. But you can see we will get through this wave. She is stunning them up nice. She is stunning them up lovely. So, look, I don't think I've really got much else to show you guys, because that's it. She's got a niche arena spot, which could be kind of fun long term if you want to like really play with the big boys. She has got, and that's on arena defense, I think, more than offense. She has got an A1, which is going to stun up lovely in a stun set. So if that's what you need in your raid life, then fuse her. Absolutely fuse her. None of the other epics, I think, are better than her, by the way. So, you know, if you want to do it anyway and get yourself a legendary that might be buffed, maybe a couple of the suggestions that I've put out there do actually get implemented, or there's some new content. Maybe one of these new Doom Tower bosses, you'll be like, I really wish I had that revive on death against this new sorceress type Doom Tower boss they're bringing out that steals your champions. You know, maybe that would be something for you. maybe that the person that they steal still counts as an ally, and you can do that health swap with them, potentially. And if you did the health swap with them, maybe, then that's clutch. That's like a clutch skill that you really wish you had in the bank. We cannot predict what future content's coming out and how it's going to work. So, you know, it's always... We always say you should get the fusion if you can. For me, this one is particularly weak as it stands right now with the current content in the game and, you know, the current legendary pool. She feels particularly weak. But who knows? She might be better in the future. So there you go, guys. Look, comment below. What would you do with her? What are you thinking to do with her? Or if you don't want her, do you actually want one of these other epics which are now up for grabs? Since I did my video yesterday, we know that the Void, who's easily the best champion on this test server, is not in the mix. So, you know, is there one of the other epics that you particularly want to see a guide on? Magna, the main dude? You tell me. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.